You bend down to tie your shoe. You hesitate for a fraction of a second.
Just a tiny pause.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't feel any pain, but you instinctively shift your weight a little more to the left. Or maybe you adjust the angle of your knee.
Yeah.
That tiny, like completely invisible adjustment. That is the exact moment your body starts lying to you.
And the lie is so incredibly seamless, so elegantly designed that you simply finish tying the shoe and go about your day.
Totally oblivious.
Completely oblivious to the fact that your fundamental biomechanics just shifted.
Which is wild. So today's deep dive is all about decoding that lie. We are looking at a framework developed by the FinchQ team, and it's called the silent threshold, how movement changes before it hurts.
It's a really fascinating piece of work.
It really is. And our mission today is to figure out why our nervous systems trick us into thinking that injuries or physical limitations just, happen out of nowhere.
Right, that myth of the sudden injury.
Exactly. We are going to explore the hidden mechanics of how our bodies compensate and figure out how you can intercept the invisible signals your brain is suppressing long before actual pain ever strikes.
It's a crucial shift in perspective.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because the foundational premise here completely dismantles how we categorize getting hurt in the first place.
Bo, absolutely.
I mean, we treat pain as a starting line. You wake up with a stiff lower back, you can't stand up straight, and you assume, well, my back just broke today. Today is the day it went wrong.
Which is just a fundamental misunderstanding of human physiology.
Really?
Yeah. Pain is not a beginning. It is a threshold.
Oh, wow.
The biological failure didn't happen overnight. It has been quietly accumulating over a really long period of time. Pain is simply the mathematical breaking point.
The breaking point.
Exactly. It's the moment your nervous system can no longer mask the deficit or, reroute the mechanical stress.
Meaning the system was failing for months and your brain just refused to tell you.
Right, because you have to consider the evolutionary imperative at play here. Your nervous system is designed to prioritize function and task completion above literally everything else.
So it's just wants to get the job done.
Exactly. If you need to reach a high shelf to grab something, the brain does not care if your shoulder's rotator cuff is inflamed or operating at, say, 80% capacity.
It just wants the thing on the shelf.
Right. It will simply alter the motor program, it recruits the upper trapezius, it shifts the scapula, and it forces the arm upward.
And the task is completed.
The task is completed. In the hierarchy of your survival, mechanical accuracy and efficiency are immediately sacrificed for completion.
Man, it sounds like the brain is a frantic project manager.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, imagine a manager who only cares that the final project gets delivered to the client by Friday at 5 p.m.
Right.
That delivery is the function. The manager completely ignores the fact that the team hasn't slept, the servers are crashing, and they are literally using duct tape and paper clips to hold the whole presentation together.
And that would be the compensation.
Exactly. That is the compensation. And it works.
Yeah.
Right? The client gets the project. You manage to reach the top shelf. Everything looks totally fine on the surface. Well, until the duct tape snaps.
What's fascinating here is that the neurophysiology mirrors that project manager analogy perfectly.
Really? How so?
Well, we have sensory receptors all over our bodies constantly sending data back to the brain. But the central nervous system has this aggressive filtering mechanism. It actively suppresses signals that it deems non-urgent to prevent you from experiencing crippling sensory overload.
So it's protecting us from too much information.
Exactly. I mean, if you felt every single microtrauma, every fatigued muscle fiber, you would be paralyzed. So it quiets the noise.
It just turns the volume down.
It decreases the neural drive to a compromised muscle and increases the signal to secondary synergistic muscles.
Like recruiting backup.
Right. Your glute stops firing properly, so your lower back muscles are suddenly conscripted to do a job they weren't designed for. The project manager doesn't tell the CEO about the paper clips because the CEO, your conscious mind, just needs to focus on walking down the street.
Which forces those secondary muscles to work overtime.
Yeah.
Just quietly absorbing stress that were never meant to handle in the first place.
Precisely.
But wait. If my nervous system is running this massive cover-up operation, like recruiting muscular duct tape all over my body,
Yeah.
how does it manage to hide this physical decline from me for years? I mean, we are talking about massive structural compensations, and we somehow have zero clue it's happening.
Well, there is a brilliant parallel to be drawn here with the psychological phenomenon of time compression.
Time compression.
Yeah, you know the feeling. As you get older, a year seems to just vanish in 3 months.
Oh, yeah. terrifyingly fast.
Right. The brain compresses time because it stops recording mundane, repetitive routines as distinct memories.
Because there's nothing new happening.
Exactly. It relies on novel, high-contrast milestones to anchor our perception of time. Without those new stimuli, the timeline simply blurs.
And so, the exact same mechanism of habituation is happening in our muscles and joints.
You got it. The body enters a remarkably similar silent phase.
The silent phase.
Let's say the effort required for you to stand up from a chair increases by a fraction of a percent every month.
Okay.
Or your gait becomes slightly more asymmetrical to protect a deteriorating piece of cartilage in your knee.
But I don't feel it.
Right, because there are no sharp milestones. There's no acute stabbing pain. So the brain normalizes the new baseline.
It just accepts it as the new normal.
Yes, it doesn't log the gradual loss of range of motion. It blurs the physical timeline just as effectively as it blurs the chronological one.
Wow. I have to push back on a major narrative here, though.
Sure.
Because this completely contradicts the societal script around injury.
It really does.
Like when someone throws their back out lifting a box, the immediate reaction from everyone is, oh, you pushed yourself too hard, you didn't listen to your body.
Right, blame the victim.
Yeah. But based on this mechanism of habituation and signal suppression, is that actually unfair? Are we really just not being told?
It is a profoundly flawed accusation.
Really? So we aren't to blame?
No, the idea that people simply ignore their bodies represents a complete misunderstanding of the silent phase. You are not ignoring anything.
The body is just hiding it.
The body is adapting and shifting in the background, intentionally keeping your conscious mind out of the loop.
Because it thinks it's helping.
Exactly. The signals simply are not loud enough to breach the threshold of conscious awareness until the compensatory structures themselves fail.
The real danger, then, is equating feeling fine with functioning perfectly. Like, we assume an absence of pain means an absence of change.
Which is an incredibly dangerous metric for physical health.
Yeah, I could see that now.
Because during the silent phase, long before you feel an ache, the fundamental quality of your movement is degrading.
How so?
Well, healthy human movement is highly variable. A healthy joint has dozens of micro-trajectories it can take to accomplish a task.
It has options.
Exactly. But as a joint degrades, the nervous system locks it into a very rigid, specific pathway to protect it.
So you lose those options.
You lose that variability. The movement narrows, the underlying effort quietly spikes, but the conscious mind is completely insulated from the data.
Okay, but if my brain is pulling off this massive cover-up, my first instinct is just to try harder to see through it.
Try to beat the system.
Yeah. If I know the filter is there, can't I just force myself to be hyper-aware of my movements? I mean, people have been trying to solve this for decades with mindfulness practices, right?
Oh, absolutely. That was the foundational premise of movement pioneers like Moshe Feldenkrais and F. Matthias Alexander back in the mid-20th century.
Okay, so they were onto this.
They were. They recognized that automatic unconscious movement breeds dysfunction. So they developed highly specific techniques to forcibly slow down movement.
Like moving in slow motion.
Kind of, yeah. Slowing down and introducing deliberate, strange variation.
Why strange variations?
Because by moving a joint through a novel, hyper-slow articulation, you force the nervous system to pay attention to a pathway it had previously filtered out.
Ah, I see. You're basically tricking the brain into treating a mundane movement as a novel milestone again.
Exactly.
Bringing that hidden tension out of the shadows.
It brings certain gross compensations into the conscious light, yes. But, and this is a big but, there is a hard biological limit to this approach.
The filter again.
Yes. Awareness is fundamentally constrained by what the nervous system actually allows to reach the cortex.
It's still running the show.
The filter is always running. The reticular activating system in your brainstem is literally designed to filter out the static of your internal environment so you can engage with the external world.
Right. So we could survive out there.
Exactly. Even with decades of intense somatic training, your nervous system's core programming remains intact.
It won't let you see everything.
It will always prioritize outward attention and task execution over internal diagnostics.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me. The idea that you can change how you move, you can compensate heavily, load all the stress onto the wrong joints, and genuinely believe absolutely nothing is wrong.
Because it feels normal.
Right, because your brain just hit save on that awkward movement and labeled it the new normal. It's exactly like nose blindness. You know, you cook a meal with a ton of garlic.
Oh yeah, been there.
An hour later, you can't smell it at all. Your olfactory receptors just habituate.
Right.
But a friend walks through the front door and hits a wall of garlic. We are essentially nose-blind to our own biomechanics.
That is a perfect analogy. The habituation is profound and inescapable. And this raises an important question.
What's that?
Well, regarding how we manage our health,
Hmm.
if even highly trained mindful awareness ultimately fails because the brain naturally suppresses familiar signals,
We're kind of stuck.
we cannot trust our internal feeling in any given moment to give us an accurate picture of our physical trajectory.
Wow.
Relying on moment-to-moment sensation is a biological trap.
Okay, but that completely breaks the golden rule of wellness. I mean, listen to your body is the advice we get for literally everything.
It is everywhere.
But if the body is an unreliable narrator and moment-to-moment awareness is essentially a dead end, we are flying blind until we crash into the pain threshold.
We are.
So what is the actual solution here? How do we bypass a brain that is actively lying to us to keep us moving?
We have to stop looking at individual moments and start looking at macro patterns.
Macro patterns.
Yes, you cannot trust Tuesday's sensation. You have to track the trajectory over months.
Because a physical change that is far too small to feel in a single day becomes mathematically glaring when mapped over 50 days.
Exactly. Think about the sheer volume of biomechanical data you generate.
That's a lot.
Thousands of steps, endless positional shifts, micro adjustments in your posture.
Every single day.
Right. A 1% decrease in your left hip's range of motion today is entirely invisible to your conscious mind.
You'd never notice.
But a 1% decrease week over week forms a definitive vector. It establishes a direction.
It's like scrolling through photos on your phone.
Oh, definitely.
You look at a picture of yourself from yesterday and then a picture from today. Identical.
Right.
You can't see any aging or changes because you are too close to the data, but jump from today's photo to one taken 5 years ago, and the change is jarring.
It hits you all at once.
Yeah. We stop seeing gradual change in ourselves when we are trapped in the daily timeline.
And overcoming that limitation is the entire purpose of a system like FinchQ.
To step back and look at the photos.
Exactly. The goal is to step back and look at the 5-year photos, biomechanically speaking.
Got it.
It is not designed to be a louder alarm bell that interrupts your day to say, hey, your left knee just took an extra load on that last step.
Oh man, that would just annoy the project manager in my brain.
Right.
It would cause that exact sensory overload the brain is trying to avoid in the first place.
It would be exhausting. Instead, it acts as an objective, silent observer that isn't burdened by the brain's time compression.
It just watches the trends.
Exactly. By continuously measuring those subtle metrics, the creeping increase in physical effort, the narrowing of movement variability, the slow shifts in left-right asymmetry.
The things we're nose-blind to.
Yes, it reveals the long-term direction. It maps the silent phase without triggering the nervous system's defenses.
So what does this all mean for you listening? It means outsourcing the detection.
Absolutely.
It is mathematically impossible for your conscious mind to synthesize a month's worth of movement data. We have to rely on an external lens to aggregate that information.
Because our internal software is hard-coded for survival, not long-term diagnostics.
Exactly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it represents a massive shift from reaction to observation.
From waiting for it to break to watching it bend.
Beautifully said. The traditional model of physical health is inherently reactive. You wait for the joint to hit the threshold of pain, the compensatory duct tape snaps, and then you react with rehabilitation or surgery.
Which is so frustrating.
But by making these long-term macro patterns visible, what normally feels like a sudden injury is finally understood as a slow-motion event that was unfolding all along.
And if you can see the slow motion event, you can actually intercept it.
You can.
You can change the trajectory before the duct tape snaps.
Yeah.
You don't have to hit the threshold of pain to know that your structural baseline is shifted. It completely removes the mystery from physical decline.
It removes the mystery,
Yeah.
and it establishes objective truth in a biological system that is otherwise designed to deceive you for your own immediate convenience.
It takes the guilt out of it too, you know?
It really does.
You didn't ignore your body just didn't tell you. But the pattern never lies.
It's all right there in the data.
So to bring this all together, the core takeaway from this deep dive is a total paradigm shift in how you view pain and movement.
A complete overhaul.
The body rarely fails in a single moment. The next time you or someone you know experiences a sudden thrown back or a tweaked shoulder while just reaching for a mug.
Think about the buildup.
Right. remember that it wasn't sudden at all. It was just the cumulative result of a silent phase. It was simply the moment the volume finally got too loud for the brain's project manager to ignore.
Which leaves us with a rather profound implication to consider.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we've spent this time dissecting how incredibly efficient the nervous system is at masking gradual physical decline just to keep us hitting our daily
Oh,
goals.
right, the physical duct tape.
We have to wonder, if the brain is this masterful at hiding physical compensation, how much of our gradual mental or emotional stress is also being quietly rerouted?
Oh, wow.
How much is being suppressed and duct taped together by the brain right now, just waiting to cross a silent threshold of its own?
Oof. How much emotional duct tape are we walking around with?
It's a big question.
That is a heavy, necessary question, something to really chew on. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Keep questioning those invisible patterns in your own life. Look out for the macro trends. And the next time you hesitate for a split second before tying your shoe, pay attention. We'll catch you next time.